Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to the channel, and I'm here for an album review. Now for this review, I'm going to be reviewing an album by the legendary progressive rock band King Crimson. And the album that I'll be reviewing from King Crimson is their debut album, In the Court of the Crimson King, which is highly regarded as one of their best, if not their best album, and I definitely agree with that. It probably is my favorite King Crimson album. Definitely a classic, and I would even go as far to say that this is an essential progressive rock album. And this album came out in the late 60s, and you know what? I'm sure that at the time when this album first came out, this was almost like nothing that no one has ever really heard before, because not only was this, I believe, some of the heaviest music around at the time, but it was also some of the most complex music at the time as well. So I'm sure at the time it was definitely surprising. So not only was this a groundbreaking album in rock music, but just music in general. Yeah, this is definitely a great album though, and definitely a classic. And of course it's a groundbreaking album, so let's go ahead and talk about the tracks. 21st Century Schizoid Man starts off this album, and it is one of the most notable tracks on the album. Definitely one of the highlights. It's got a lot of interesting things going on in this song in terms of the instrumentation and the vocal work. Definitely a really great song. I Talk to the Wind is a really good song. Not a song that I see a lot of fans talk about, but I do like it though. I think it's a very good track. Not one of the more complex songs on the album or anything. It is more laid back and kind of a more mellow type song, but I really like it. I think it's pretty memorable. Epitaph, which is maybe my favorite King Crimson song of all time, to be honest. If it's not my favorite, it's definitely within the top 3, and I know that this is a fan favorite King Crimson song for a lot of people. What a great song this is. Everything about it is fantastic. The intriguing melodies, the vocal work, the instrumentation, and it's got some very intriguing melodies that can maybe get stuck in your head, and it's just a very memorable song and definitely one of the highlights on the album. So I want to skip on over to the closing track, The Court of the Crimson King, the title track as well. One of the most notable songs, not just in King Crimson's discography, but in the world of prog rock, I think. Especially the iconic line, In the Court of the Crimson King. I mean, definitely a very memorable track, I think, and there's a lot to like about this song. I mean, there's a lot of really great instrumentation and vocal work throughout, and it's a instrumentally very interesting album as well. You got some psychedelic moments a lot throughout this album, and there's just a lot to like about this album. It's definitely a really great album, so probably one of the best progressive rock albums of all time, I would say. So if I were to give this album a score, I'd probably have to give it either a 9.7 or maybe even a 10 out of 10. I don't know, I got very, very little complaints with this album because I think all the songs are great. Now sure, there's songs better than others, like with any album, but all in all, I think it's a really great album. So that's my review for In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. I know that this was a rather short review, but there's not really much to say about this album since, you know, this was a groundbreaking album and obviously an essential prog rock album. So let me know what you guys think of this album. Thank you for watching, have a nice day, and take care.